Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. We'll be right back to the show. But before we do, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, factormeals.com, where if you go to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50, you can get 50% off your first order. That's factormeals.com/unbroken50. If you're like me and you are a person who is busy trying to create a life, heal, work on their health, wealth, and relationships, and not to mention deal with the day-to-days of normal life, you do not have time to be going to the grocery store and trying to figure out what you're going to cook every single day of the week. In fact, one time I did the math and I realized I was spending over 15 hours a week at the grocery store and cooking. When I added Factor, I got to use that time for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community, and for my business. And so if you're in the place where you need some more support in the kitchen, head to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50 to get 50% off.
What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? Hero Bread serves up 0 to 1 grams of net carbs, 5 to 11 grams of protein, and high fiber in every delicious serving. Made with natural ingredients, Hero Bread supports gut health, promotes weight management, and helps maintain blood sugar. Hero also drops other limited edition ultra-low net carb goodies like rich, flaky croissants and buttery brioche slider rolls. Head to hero.co to shop today.
Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Welcome to the Think Unbroken podcast. I'm your host, Michael Unbroken, and this podcast is about helping trauma survivors let go of the past, overcome their fear, discover their identity, become the hero of their own story, and ultimately to be unbroken. Our goal in company is to bring on guests and experts in the fields of mental, physical, and psychological health to help you overcome the past, to take back your power. And in this podcast, we are unedited and unfiltered, and we're going to give it to you real so that you can start to create massive change in your life. If you're curious about learning more outside the podcast, you can get a free copy of my book, Think Unbroken, at book.thinkunbroken.com. That's book.thinkunbroken.com, where you can get a copy of my #1 best-selling book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma. The most important thing that you can ever do, my friends, is show up for yourself, and that's where you are today. And I appreciate you. I have massive gratitude for you. And without further ado, let's get into the show. We'll be right back to the show, but before we do, I want to take a moment and tell you about my new book, Unbroken Man, A Man's Guide to Being the Hero of Their Own Story. I sat down a few months ago and realized that there are so many men in the world that need guidance, that need support, that need to learn about trauma, removing themselves from toxic masculinity, breaking down the barriers to vulnerability, getting unstuck, and ultimately learning the tools to become the hero of their own story. Unbroken Man is available for pre-order right now if you go to men.thinkunbroken.com, where you'll also get access to over $1,000 in bonuses, including the 6-week in-depth trauma healing coaching app, which you'll get instant access to. I created Unbroken Man to be accessible to everyone around the world, but it is written for men from the guise of a man, and I hope that you will find it to be a practical tool on your healing journey in the same way that thousands of men around the world have. So check out men.thinkunbroken.com to pre-order, and until next time, be unbroken. You may not believe this, but there is a tremendous amount of true power in suffering. What's up, Unbroken Nation? Hope that you're doing well wherever you are in the world today. I'm going to read you something here that I think is really important. It's a definition that I really resonate with for the word suffering. And I really resonate with this because I looked it up after realizing one of the really inalienable truths of healing trauma is that there's a level of suffering in this. There's some like pain in healing. And in that, thinking about, okay, wait a second, how do we actually use that to our advantage? And so I looked up the definition of suffer, and there were 2 variations that I really, really liked because they felt inherently true about this experience. One is to experience, undergo, or feel something painful, injurious, or unpleasant. And 2 is to undergo or be subjected to a negative experience or development. And I was thinking about this a lot, this journey. So often we go to this place of, because you're learning who you are. And for the first 3 years after I had this mirror moment and I was starting to really step into and solidify who I was, the word that came to mind about that time frame was suffering. Like it hurt all the time. Like I was breaking down, I was crying, I was weeping, I was just so frustrated with the world. And I was thinking about this. What if we combined those 2 variations and built it into something? And I thought to myself, like, okay, this is how I personally align with the word suffer. And it's to experience something unpleasant so that you develop. And I think that that is the cornerstone of discovering your identity. Unfortunately, whether or not we want to admit it, like the suffering that comes in this form of learning and personal growth comes at a price. Like there is for sure a price to pay in this journey. And that price is the discomfort of the unknown in the window in which you're stepping into discovery. And that discomfort of the unknown for many, and for myself for a very long time, is crippling. And crippling in a way that actually is detrimental and will keep people stuck for a very, very long time. For some, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say this, for some, they'll be stuck forever. And I wish that there was a way to change that for that 3, 4, 5% of people who won't be able to tap into their power. But inevitably, I don't know that that's true. It's my hope. That's why we do what we do. But you've got to be willing to step into the discomfort of what it is that you don't know. Because you only know who you are today. You don't know what you're capable of yet because you have not yet crossed that threshold of figuring it out. And for so many of us, figuring it out, and this is what I believe to be the truth. Figuring out who you are comes from the discomfort of trying the things you never tried, doing the things you've never done, saying the things you've never said, living life authentically in a way that you never have because you've never been allotted the space. But in that discomfort, like that's where this word suffering plays a role. And I want you to think about whether or not you're willing to undergo the tremendous amount of what it like really of suffering of what it takes to get to where you want to go, because you're going to have to go through many unpleasant things. And people will look at, I hope this isn't as true as I know it is to be, but I think that a lot of information kind of reiterates and solidifies this for me, that a lot of people believe that my journey was just kind of like this 180 and suddenly I had life that is very different. There's no overnight success in this game. Like, I don't care who you are. Nobody's been successful at healing. Nobody's been successful at building life. No one's been successful at anything in an 180 overnight sudden occurrence. Everyone that I know who has gone through a transformation has done so through just a tremendous amount of effort and energy. Like, I see it in myself. I see it in the clients that I coach. I see it in the people who read the programs and do the app and read the books. We'll be right back to this episode of the Think Unbroken podcast in just a moment, but I wanted to invite you to come and join the Think Unbroken Discord community. If you don't know about Discord, it's being built on Web3, which is a platform that we as the users get to own. So no more Instagram or Facebook or algorithms getting in the way of you seeing and being a part of content. In the Discord channel, we're going to grow this to hundreds of thousands of community members, hopefully over time. But today it's small, it's close, it's intimate, where you'll be able to get access to live coaching with me, where you'll have chat with the Unbroken Nation community, where you can talk about a range of topics, anywhere from thinking about habits and growth mindset, goals, trauma, recovery, dating, relationships, career, accountability, business, meditation, feedback, and more. And so all you have to do is go to thinkunbroken.com/discord. That's thinkunbroken.com/discord. That's DISCORD to join the Unbroken Nation community. There's something to the truth of that you have to just be willing to go through it. And the timeline is different for everyone. And I think for some people, they believe, you'll read a book one time or you'll go to one conference and things will be different. But I don't think that's true. I think the crux of life is, you're in this level of preparedness for the discovery of who you are. And the difference between success and failure for those who have prepared is the willingness to cross the threshold into the unknown, into the void of what you've never experienced, to discover the truth about who you are. And I believe that only comes through the willingness to walk to that door, turn the handle and step in. And that's metaphorical, of course, but there's some truth in that. There's some really fascinating information when you think about it, of the viability that stepping through a threshold is actual. It's real, it's true. Because think about it, sometimes you're always stepping through these thresholds in your life, whether at work or career or relationships or with the kids or, personal development, whatever it is, you're always walking through a door or leaving a door. You're entering or exiting all the time through everything that you're doing all day long. Think about this, even in your career. Let's say you work in an office. How many times do you walk through a doorway? If you work at home, how many times do you walk through a doorway? In your day-to-day life, how many times do you walk through a doorway? 99.9% of those doorways, they're known. You already know what happens. I'll give you an example. When you go to the grocery store, exactly where that thing is that you got to go get. In your home, exactly where that thing is that you need right now. At work, exactly where you have to go for the meeting. It's known. There's nothing unknown to any of those circumstances except for the first time that you do them. And leading up to that, there is this level of suffering in which you're learning and developing and understanding who you are to be able to navigate those experiences in real time in a way that is proficient. And that only comes through the effort and energy that you've put in up to this moment to understand what may happen. And then you go through the threshold, the doorway, you face the discomfort and the unknown, and then you find out whether or not you were right. I believe that to be true about what it means to heal, what it means to live life on your terms and be the hero of your own story. I believe that you have to be willing to be prepared up to a certain point, and then at the moment of truth, walk through the threshold of discovery to figure out who you are. And if you're not, nothing will be different. And the suffering is about the learning. It's about the iteration. It's about the back and forth. It's about the discovery. It's about the finding out the truth of who you are and what you're capable of with having no prior information of whether or not that holds true. You know, you haven't yet proven what you think you can do. And I think that's the part about the suffering that's so fascinating to me. What am I actually capable of doing? Like, ask yourself this question, like, what are you actually capable of doing? You don't know yet because you haven't done it. And so you have to be willing to step through the doorway to discovering that truth. And the task at hand, no matter what it is, more often than not, is very arbitrary, because you'll find that that holds true across many different axes of your experience as a human being. You're always stepping through thresholds, but at some point you're choosing to continue to step through the same doorways, getting the same results, thus not changing. And then comes this moment in time in which you have to make a decision on the willingness you have to suffer through finding out who you are. And that comes through the unknown. And so in order to do that, you literally have to be willing to say, all right, I'm walking through. Let's see what happens. And you'll find through the process of iteration and taking samples that more often than not, you're going to be wrong. Like, that's just the truth of it. That's where the factor of suffering comes in. That, in my opinion, right? It's to experience something unpleasant, because you're going to learn what you do and do not like. And the things that we do not like are far more unpleasant than the things that we do. I think that we can agree on that. And so in discovering and figuring out the things that you do not like, or the things that you come to find are actually detrimental to your growth, your personal experience, and what you want to build, what happens is you now have more data and information about the truth of who you are. And in that truth, you can further move closer to stepping through the threshold and the doorway of who it is that you want to be. And the only way that you do that, and this is what's really fascinating, and the only way that you do that, the only way that you truly, truly discover who you are, you do it again and again and again. So if you're in this place in your life right now where you're listening to this and you're like, all right, I want to figure out who I am. I want to be me. I want to let go of the past. I want to heal. I want to recover. I want to whatever that thing is. You got to step through it. You have to suffer yourself to greatness. You know, you look at a guy, look at professional athletes who stand on the basketball court, for instance, they shoot 1,000 free throws every day for proficiency. Well, you got to be willing to shoot the first one before you get to 1,000, my friends. So I want to say thank you for listening. And I just want to take a moment and give you a huge amount of love for all the reviews. We're edging towards that 200 this month. I'm very excited. So if you're on iTunes or Apple, please, please, please go hit that 5-star, leave a review, hit the 1-star. Fuck it. If you don't like it, keep it real. Tell me, like, this is the worst podcast ever. I respect it. But leave the review and let me know, because we want to make the show better. We've broken a lot of ground here on this show. A lot of really beautiful things are in the happenings, and I could not do it without you, Unbroken Nation. So thank you so much. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see you. Unbroken Nation, hope that you just got a tremendous amount of value from today's episode. I want to know what you think. Please do me a favor and review, rate, and share the episode with 3 friends on social media today. It would mean the world if you did, because ultimately at the end of the day, creating community and connection is how we heal generational trauma in the world. And I need your help to do that, Unbroken Nation. So if you're on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you are, please like, comment, share, review. I want to know not only what you like about the show, but how I can make the show better, how I can make this further about helping you on your healing journey. So do me a favor. And when you do, shoot me a screenshot of you making the review to my DM at Michael Unbroken on Instagram so that I can have a conversation with you, say hi, and more importantly, so I can share it with the Unbroken Nation. Thank you so much, my friend. We'll be right back, but I wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about the Think Unbroken 6-week trauma healing coaching program. If you go to coaching.thinkunbroken.com, that's coaching.thinkunbroken.com, you can sign up for the 6-week daily Think Unbroken Trauma Healing Coaching Program. In this program, we're going to go over the 6 principles of healing trauma, adaptation, understanding the impacts of trauma, how to become the hero of your own story, what to do next, and ultimately what it means to be unbroken. For more information about this 6-week coaching program, which you can download as an app on your phone and take with you everywhere, no matter where you are in the world, it's interactive. It's built about giving you practical tools that you can use in real time. And if you're ready for what's next in your life, go to coaching.thinkunbroken.com. Again, that's coaching.thinkunbroken.com. Now let's get back to the show. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of live coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program.